We're back, fellas. We're back. 3-0. It smells great. It feels great. The sun's shining a little brighter over here. The air smells and feels a little better over here. How are we doing this evening, gentlemen? What's going on, Zay?
What's going on, y'all? I'm doing well. 3-0. Nothing else you can say about that. A win is a win. My coach said there's no such thing as an ugly win, just either a winner and a loser, and we were the winners. So, that's all you can ask for, and that's what kind of coach we got. So that's what I'm saying. That's what we're doing. Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Special guest talent. How you feeling, man? You did the game did go the way you said it was gonna go.
Yeah, man. I told you, man. I said beware of that trap down there in Lorman, man. It ain't gonna be as sweet as you think it is. I told y'all, man, but y'all pulled it out and shoot, props to y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to see. I guess Janaris has stepped off for a little bit, but shoot, what we all came here for, man. With all the 12 code came and gathered, 12 fan code gathered around for, man. Panthers avoided the trap. Prairie View wins in Lorman, Mississippi, 13-12. As you guys see at the top here, we have our box score, and it ended up coming down to a nail biter. Even though PV outgained Alcorn 348 yards to 270. PV ended up winning the game off a sack on a 3rd and 7 in field goal range, thus allowing Alcorn to kick a field goal and miss it by 5 to 10 yards. Gonna be honest with you guys, man. My heart was in my butt the entire game. How are you guys feeling, man?
Man, I would say just looking at the game from beginning to end, There's a few different ways you can look at it, right? But I'm gonna start with probably the most optimistic route. I think that all things considered, we pretty much controlled this game from beginning until towards the fourth quarter. We kind of let Alcorn let that door open long enough for them to come back in to the game. I felt like there just really wasn't a ton Alcorn could do for about three-quarters of the game. I felt like there was a missed pass here, there was a ref call here, this was called back there. That really, from my account, that score should have been something like 24-3. Beginning of the second quarter. So you look at that and say, once again, it's what we've been saying all season. When will the Panthers, this 73 plus new person team with new coaching staff and 34 holdovers, when will it all come together to where we can put together a dominant performance on the offensive side of the ball? Waiting to see that, right? We had hoped it would be this game. Hopefully over this bye week, that's something that we put emphasis on, because I know a lot of us have been talking about when we go to Baton Rouge, that's what we really would like to see. Not necessarily, we want the win, right? That's important, even if it's by half a point. But we also want to make sure that when we go up against teams that can put some points on the board, that we can respond to that as well. So all in all, that was my analysis. And then obviously the defense ball. The defense deserves the world. The play calling, the coordinators, I mean, everything about our defense, in my opinion, you couldn't ask for a better game, because at the end of the day, they won us that ball game, right? If Alcorn, they did a run play and two pass plays in that last set of downs before kicking the field goal to try to win the game. If our defense doesn't step up and get 2 sacks, right, we don't put them in that down and distance in order to kick the field goal. And even more, shout out to the kicker who quit the week before for Alcorn, because had he been there, he probably would have made it, right? I picked up on the T, and I hate to say it like that, but I picked up on the T, weeks prior, or the week prior after the Pine Bluff loss. That's one of the things the guys at Swacking the Fool were talking about in Golden Helm Review, etc. Hey, our kicker quit. And to me, you look at that and you got to say, man, favor ain't fair, because had that guy been there, there's probably a chance he makes it from 44 yards, and we're talking about how we lost the ball game. So, all in all, that's my analysis. But I'm sure you guys have some other thoughts to consider as well.
Dang, that's crazy. I ain't know he quit. Cause I figured I saw the punter out there kicking the field goal, and I know the punter well. I was like, hold on. Why they got him kicking the field goal? He never kicked a day in his life. That's all. No, I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't even I didn't peep that till just now. So
three phases of the game, right? 3 phases of the ball game, and at the end of the day, we just got some favor. I think don't get me wrong, we played a dominant ball game defensively. Offense left a lot to be desired. We had a few mistakes. Obviously, the refs are what they are, especially going into Lorman. And so,
warned you about that.
I mean, listen, it's not something we haven't seen. And what's crazy about this is, in the last 9 times we played, Alcorn's won something like 7 of those games. But the 2 games that we won in Lorman. We both won in Lorman, and we won one by kicking the field goal to win, and we won one by you guys missing the field goal to lose the ball game for us to win the game. So it's always been a very contested battle, especially going into Lorman. So I totally expected, I totally expected that. So
yeah, like I said last week when I say beware of that trap, man. Like, you'll never know what's going on, and it's always a close game between us two, especially when it be at Lorman. It's always a close game, or something funny happens, like what you just said in the last couple matchups. Yeah.
No, definitely. And one takeaway that I really got from the game was, I know people, when I say people, I mean fans of teams on the East. When I say fans of teams on the East, I really mean JSU fans. But this defense is something special, man. We had 5 sacks in that game. The defense maintained pretty much control of the game 90%. We got an interception honestly, the defense gave us so many stops. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 30 points. But I completely understand, right? Swag TV, you gotta give us some type of right as a fan to start clipping up y'all games because y'all not doing it. My guy Josiah Rockwell, he had probably the catch of the year in the end zone to give us the lead 13. At the time, it was, I think, 13 6 or something like that. But that was such a big catch that will probably be lost forever at this point, that I really wish that I could go back and really just pull it out and shout him out for that. But we held Jalen Tolbert to 11 out of 22, 50% passing percentage, 176 yards in the INT. He was sacked 5 times, and we held the league leading rusher to, I think, 23 yards this game. And
That's
I
a big
think
point.
I think that's
Big point.
huge.
Big point.
And there are a lot of teams in the SWAC that really run the ball well, in my opinion, and rely on that run game. So for us to go into Lorman, show that our defense travels anywhere, rain, sleet, snow, sunny, cold. I know my defense coming. That's not anything that I'm worried about. Shout out Trevor Randall. Shout out Robert Sterling. Shout out the other Sterling, last name Sterling. I know we coming. Offensively, some things that I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding the games in which we have a lead and we'll be up 10 nothing, 13 nothing. Then we'll be like, all right, well, let's go ahead. Let's try out Cam Peters, or let's flip it around. Let's go ahead and try out Tevin Carter. Those are parts of the game that I'm still not understanding, even though I know from a strategic point, right? We're trying to access different parts of the game. We already know one quarterback seems to be a little bit better at throwing than the other. One seems to be better at running. Is there anything that you guys could see, or you guys felt that one quarterback did differently, or one did better this weekend?
Yeah. Sorry, repeat your question again for me. I was typing and
No, you're
talking.
good. You're good. I was
Typing and listening.
asking, based off you guys' opinion and what you guys seen this weekend, was there anything that either Cam Peters or Tevin Carter did better than one of the other in order to
Okay.
kind of, show themselves and prove that? Because we already know, right? We're not gonna be a one quarterback team. It's just not where we're gonna be. But did any quarterback stand out to you and give you something that, what, I have faith that we can grow from there and work on that and keep getting better?
Right. So for me, they're the same quarterback as far as ability. I do think that, Carter, I've always said Carter is the better runner. He's the better gamer. If you need somebody that's going to get you, critical yards, critical situations with his feet, and maybe some, throw a few throws that he can make comfortably here and there, within 10 yards, he's your guy, right? But if you look at Peters, he's the much better thrower. He's much more accurate, in my opinion. He is mistake prone, as any player is. But I think here as of late, it's been very up and down his play. And so I actually have enjoyed, the two quarterback system. I know that's not, the usual way of playing the game, and that's not the usual strategy. But for what we have and playing to the strengths of each player, right? Using each as a momentum boost, at different times in the game to try to keep the game sparked and like, hey, when we can tell as a staff Carter's slowing down, the game is slowing down, he's not making the right reads. Let's put Peters in and let's get some juice going there, and vice versa. I think that's really been a really cool thing to see because it's allowed us to stay in games. Had we not done that, or had we not had the option or depth to do so, I think we would be in some pretty bad situations, and we may not have some of the wins we have. I mean, I'm just going to be real about that. So you have to both appreciate their abilities and also what comes with the challenges they may face from time to time. And this is my last thing because I want to keep this in perspective. We are still trying to put all the team together to play a complete ball game, right? We've been in a lot of close games. I think Dallas was the best first to look at. Okay, from beginning to end, we dominated. But I think with all the new guys, the new system, all that stuff, as the season goes on, we're just going to get better and better incrementally. And the hope is that, we continue to, even if it is close, we continue to win these ball games and do what we need to do, especially with the idea of the onset of us being in, winning the SWAC West, which is goal number one, and then, ideally hosting the SWAC championship here soon. So.
Definitely. And you know me, I've always been a day one Cam Peters guy. That's always been my guy. It's always been my number one pick. So anytime Cam could go out and succeed, I'm gonna be excited, right? But I do love how we almost look like two different teams whenever we do, depending on what quarterback is in. And I do believe that gives us the ability to not only overload someone's defense who is trying to get ready on a weekly basis to play us and try to figure us out and crack the code, but I also love that depending on the quarterback, a whole nother set of players get to shine and really get to play. We had multiple wide receivers with at least one catch on Saturday. We had multiple running backs touching the ball. We had multiple running backs with catches out of the backfield as well. Carter was able to complete some of those passes, but also Cam Peters was. So even though offensively we weren't able to execute how we wanted to, especially on those third downs due to penalties, I do think that the team is starting to come together, and we're showing signs that, hey, we're able to take advantage of some of those opportunities that our defense creates for us. We just have to stay penalty free. And that's been our Achilles heel the entire year.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to pull up the stat here, or how many penalties we gave up this week, but it was definitely a lot. And don't get me wrong, we all know the home cooking that kind of happens in Norman. But even still, there's always room for improvement and being able to play the next best game. So the penalties weren't great this game, and it was actually the first time we regressed all
Right.
season from a penalty standpoint. We started the season out, we're really, really bad in the penalty category, and we got better and better and closer to that. You really want to stay around 4 to 6 penalties a game to be considered a good, game. And we were kind of hovering there. And then for some reason, this game was just a huge step back. So good. The bye week came at a perfect time.
Oh, definitely. And last penalty I'm gonna talk about, that block punt that resulted in the touchdown should have stayed. There was no reason to think that we jumped over a player when he really got chop blocked. So we really got to make sure SWAC commissioner, SWAC office, SWAC umpire and referees, let's make sure that we're not only aware of the rule book, but we're also making great calls. Also, y'all gave Alcorn a free timeout when y'all picked up a flag for that y'all threw claiming for no reason, and y'all picked it up, and it was like a 4-minute, 5-minute wait. I'm talking about, we seen it on SWAC TV. We just sitting there looking.
Oh, I was laughing. I was laughing when I saw that because I was like, these refs is horrible. Jesus.
It's crazy. I'm like, so not only are y'all getting calls wrong, y'all making up calls, taking them back, giving away free TV timeouts. I just feel like there has to be some type of reprimand for what's going on over here, because like for instance, me, if I had the ability, I would have threw an egg at him on the way out. But that's just me. We can't keep allowing these bad refs to keep getting paid on our SWAC dollars.
Them boys had a parlay or something.
Nah, Vegas made that call. That's what they did.
Shoot, hey, I don't even think they all Alcorn fans. I think they're just that bad. I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref.
That's it. That's it. See, like I said, this goes back to when I said we cheated Kentucky State. It all come together.
Definitely. But into our next game, the Tigers. Nah, let's go this way. I'm my bad, guys. Let's go this way. The Hornets get it done for homecoming. Bama State ends up thrashing Bethune-Cookman once again, 52-35. I don't necessarily have all the stats that I need to kind of break down the game itself. But for those who watched it, I'm one of those included. How do you guys feel about this game? Are y'all surprised at all? Was there anything that stood out to you guys? In my personal opinion, uh, Alabama State to me was already a 14-point favorite. I already understood what was going to go on. I understand that Bethune-Cookman's defense might be at the bottom. Um, and Alabama State went on ahead and showed out and do what they do. Now, one thing I am surprised about is Andrew Body, the last 2 weeks, has thrown a pick and has not thrown for over 250 yards in a minute. So those are some things that I'm kind of starting to look out for and starting to be weary of. How are you guys feeling about that game?
You can go. You can go ahead, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
mean, it's what I expected. Honestly, that's how I expected. But not throwing over 200, that is kind of concerning now. That is very kind of concerning.
Yeah, it just seems to me that the offense is as explosive as what it seemed like it was going to be in the beginning. And I think that now that we're starting to experience some real swag games, some real swag competition, I think it's getting real tough.
Yeah, I start thinking teams got film on them. Teams
Well,
game
I
plan.
really, to be honest, they really haven't played a very tough schedule really at all.
Mm-mm.
Let me see. We got a lot of echoing going
We
on.
got so many echoes.
I was just on one device.
I'm on one device too.
Let me see how we feeling. Is this better?
Yeah,
Okay, I
way
think I
better.
know what it is.
That's why I was stopping for a minute. I was like, "Whoa, I can hear too many echoes going on."
Now you good? I had lost my train of thought there. Lost my train of
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. I jumped off the call as well just to see if it was me, but I mean it's clear now. I don't know if Janaris is still
Yeah, I think so.
is jumping back on,
Um,
but go ahead.
but yeah, Andrew Body, he was 11 to 16, 171 with 2 touchdowns. Um, shoot, good lord. Alabama State had two basically 100-yard rushers. Somebody, Kuykendall ran for 8 carries, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. Andrew Body himself had 7 carries, 95 yards. Marcus Harris had 9 carries, 69 yards. So they pretty much ran for 389 yards on offense, man. So they're getting it done multiple ways, and they're not really showing to me that they're this Andrew Body led passing force. Now, granted, I'm not saying that that makes them less of a team or that makes their offense less potent. However, you're not running for no 300 nothing. You lucky you run for 100 on my Panthers. So when
Man,
we meet up on November 2nd, after y'all get battered and bruised by JSU, things are looking in my favor for my Panthers right now. I'm just being honest.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out this. When was the last time, or my fault, not last time? What's Andrew Body's record against PV again?
He's unvictorious. He's 0-3.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he was favored in 2 of those games that they said he was gonna win in.
Yeah, he
So I
indeed was.
I won't be surprised if PB beats him again.
I know we're gonna beat him again. Not only are we at home, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. If JSU wins this game this week, and we're gonna break it down after this, but if JSU wins this game this week,
That's gonna break him.
Bama State has to win out,
They
and
do.
that's really tough. That's a tough ask, especially knowing you got to go on the road to PV.
Yeah.
Yeah, she about to lose too, though.
I
Well,
agree, Lionel, but I
yes.
ain't gonna lie. Bethune-Cookman, they let everybody run over them. I've seen
Yeah,
grandmothers, aunties, uncles do all types of things to Bethune-Cookman's defense this year.
Yeah.
I mean if you look at it right, I think this is what was interesting to me. They had 560 total yards. Alabama State did 0 turnovers, and they did not control time of possession in this game.
They didn't.
Wow.
And so for them to be able to do that, actually Bethune controlled the time of possession 33 minutes to Alabama State's 26 minutes. And Alabama State has 7 penalties for 73 yards, whereas Bethune only had 4 for 37. So, Bethune had 33 first downs. Alabama State had 25. I think at the end of the day, Alabama State was able to convert in meaningful times and be much more efficient when they did have the ball. And they just kind of ran away with it, very early on. It just got out of control very early. And Bethune put up points to try to make it a little bit more, the final score a little bit more palatable, however you want to say it. It's late. It's not Monday. But all in all, I think they could definitely generate some offense for them not have any turnovers. And even with the penalty things that can be cleaned up, they played efficient and they played a really good homecoming game. So, I definitely thought Bethune would have put up a bigger fight. I really was looking at them possibly upsetting here. But, hey, if you don't have a defense, right, and Bama State's defense is a little bit better and they're a little bit more efficient on offense, you can't do anything about that. So,
And
and
they'll
they were
chew
at home.
and they'll chew clock it when they will have a chance to chew clock if they have a chance to. So they will run chew clock.
Well, yeah. So, all in all, it sets up for this Jackson State Alabama State game to be huge. Everybody's been talking about how it's historic and all the data points. And I think at the end of the day, I don't agree with that this is the game for the SWAC championship. That's taking it a bit too far, and from my PV perspective, right? But I do think that this is going to tell us who's coming up out the East. Because for either team, I really don't see them losing many games, if any, outside of Alabama State at PV. Aside from that, I really don't see either team losing many of the other games on their schedule for the rest of the season. So this is a must-win, and it should be a big environment. It's Jackson State's homecoming, and we'll see how it goes from there. But rolling into the game that was played by Jackson versus Alabama A&M down there in Mobile. Final score 57-24. Jackson put up 10 points in the first quarter, 23 in the second, 10 in the third, and 14 in the fourth. Whereas Alabama A&M only put up 7, 3, 14, and 0 in each quarter, respectively. Jacobian Morgan, he said, hey, I am a quarterback, and I can put up some numbers and some offense as well and be efficient while doing it. He was 21 for 30 for 314 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 120 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Shamar Savage, former PV player. We hadn't really heard from him all season. Well, this week we got a chance to see a little bit of him. He got 2 touchdowns for 91 yards. Cornelius Brown on the A&M side of things, he also had himself a pretty good day. 341 yards, 26 for 39, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 INT that you don't want to see. And then the wide receiver, Davion Walker, had 100 yards for 9 catches. So all in all, some of the takeaways from this game is Morgan's dual threat attack overwhelmed Alabama A&M completely. I just think this was a game that you would have hoped that it would have been a lot closer and a lot more manageable. But I think at the end of the day, Jackson got rolling around that second quarter, and it was too much for Alabama A&M. And it came down to who had the better defense. I think the offense is what it is. Both teams can put up points. But who had the better defense in Jackson by far? Alabama A&M, just first-year coach. She's still trying to get their legs under them there, and their defense shows to be pretty paper thin. JSU dominated early. They created turnovers, which I really like how this Coach Chennis Berry at South Carolina State, he calls it Big Mo. They teach their team that momentum. You have to be aware of how that plays into ball games. And so being mindful of Big Mo throughout the game. And so it looks like Jackson had Big Mo from beginning to the end of this game. And there really wasn't ever a point in time where it was in A&M's control. And so last point, A&M showed flashes on offense, but they couldn't sustain and maintain explosive plays and just ultimately get the yardage needed to compete with Jackson's defense. So, all in all, that's kind of what I saw. What did y'all see from this game? What did y'all take from it? I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts.
Well, what I saw from the game is Alabama A&M needs a lot of work on their defense this offseason. That's all I need. That's all I got to say. Whole lot of work on their defense, and like I said last week, it was gonna be a BTA. So that played a factor.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna mince any words. There's been a lot of delusions coming out and a lot of pointless conversations that have been floating around Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they've all been in relation to um, whether or not the West or the East is stronger or weaker. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen some of the sloppiest and worst defenses come out of the East the entire year.
Oh
Jackson
my
State has
god.
played every game and gave somebody 50 out of the East.
Literally, literally.
Alabama A&M gives up 50 every game. Bethune-Cookman gives up 50 every game. Even the game they won, they gave up 50. So at this point in time, we got to start looking at the scoreboard when we're discussing teams and really breaking them down, because we already know the eye test shows us Alabama A&M might have the 11th worst defense in the SWAC. Bethune-Cookman right behind them at 12.
Yes,
And
yes.
so at this point in time where I'm at, Jackson State did what they should have did to Alabama A&M. They're not a
Yeah.
serious team. They're not a serious contender.
Mm-mm.
They do have injuries. Now, granted, they do have injuries. They do have a quarterback injury. I believe they lost some offensive linemen because they were supposed to be all world. But I just feel, what's the term? I feel like I've been pranked. I feel like I have been scammed out of my money, because in the
Bouquet
beginning of
East.
the year, it was, oh my God, the East is so loaded. Jackson State, we've got Bama State, we've got Alabama A&M,
Bam you.
we've got FAMU, right? Now
Um,
FAMU can't score nor play defense. Alabama A&M can't play defense, but Don Cookman can't play defense. So I can't wait till we get to the end of the year and we see what these head-to-heads do. Because I'm gonna be honest, y'all are doing Jackson State a disservice by giving them all these scrimmage games. Can y'all give them some competition? Because don't let Prairie View A&M be the only defense that they ever face going in the SWAC championship, and that's our chance to punch them in the mouth and steal the SWAC championship.
I never bought into that hype too. I'm with you on that one. I never bought into that Swag East hype anyway. It was
Yeah,
going to get. I knew it was going to come between Bama State or Jackson State, but I never bought into the Alabama A&M. This, you get what I'm saying?
like it's just, I don't know. Like I said, this game disappointed me in the sense that, and we're gonna get into it when we talk about the divisions and you know whether we should be the divisionless or not. But it just upsets me when we're so bored within our own conference with all these amazing games, with all these storylines, that we want to say, because Jackson's winning now, now the East is hard but the West stinks. That's just a crazy argument, and it's a straw man fallacy.
The East has no parity, unlike the West. Every week is always parity in the West.
Yep.
I get this debate all the time, and I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. You can say the East is better because they had their side wins the SWAC championship, but every year they're not in no kind of parity, no kind of games to make it seem like, oh, who's gonna come out the East? The West has parity every year.
Every time.
Have one bad loss, somebody picks it up. That person will have one bad loss, you right back in it. Like it's a boat race in the West.
I
I
I think
agree.
I think that all of this stuff is cyclical, right? Because prior to COVID, that wasn't the narrative. It was always the best is in the West,
Yeah.
right? And even then, we still had when Southern and Grambling were kind of on top of things, if you will, on the side of the conference. We still had some pretty competitive outs with Prairie Views. I mean, this is before Alcorn was over on the side, but Prairie Views, well, Prairie View particularly, right? You know, gave both of those teams some tough outs. So I would say there is a lot more parity. I didn't come prepared tonight, unfortunately, looking at the cross divisional matchups. But just thinking back on some of the recent games played, if you take Jackson State aside, right, they account for most of this narrative that the East is stronger, right? And FAMU had a great start into the conference with head coach Willie Simmons. However, that has changed, right? That is taking a totally different turn in a different direction. And you just can't convince me that the rest of the teams in the East are that much better than the West. When they say the East is better, they're really only talking about 2 to 3 teams at most, typically. And each of those teams, aside from Jackson State, has been beat by a Western side team in the last few years. That's fact. PV beat FAMU last year. Grambling beat. Actually, I'm sorry, Grambling. Jackson lost to Grambling
We
in the
did,
home.
Yep.
yeah.
The only difference is that game was not a conference game. Had that game been a conference game,
Oh my
what are we
God.
talking about, right? So I think that we need to pump the brakes on. I think that obviously Jackson has a great program and a great squad year in and year out. FAMU typically is a little bit better than what they've been showing, and Bama State has made some investments and improvements into developing out their program. But aside from that, I would say this is all cyclical, right? And if you're asking me just as a PV fan, all this noise is coming to an end soon anyway, right? So PV is gonna have a lot to say about this narrative moving forward. And so that's where my feelings are as of tonight.
He hit it
No.
on the head saying the East comes down to 2-1 game a week. The West
Oh
comes
yeah.
down. He hit it on the head on that one. He hit on the head on that one just then.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. And I mean, I hate to say it, but we see it every year. And this was a conversation that I was having, amongst some PV peers of mine. But I was breaking it down like this. When we're looking at data, right, we got to learn how to interpret data. We can't grab a random 5 years of recency bias and use that to make an argument. Like if you're blaming divisions on Jackson State winning, as of right now, the last 3 or 4 championships, that's not a division problem. That's a SWAT problem. That's a dynasty thing.
Personnel
Like,
problem.
you get what I'm saying? That's a dynasty thing. The SWAC has never been a parity league. It's always been it's been a game of runs in this league, right? So it's been a lot of Grambling has their run. Alcorn has their run. Jackson just so happens to be in the middle of their run, and the only team that got in the middle of it was FAMU. But there keeps being a same team who keeps popping up every year, which is PV, and on the other end, Southern, which in my opinion, yeah, the games have been blowouts, but let's be real. What team was beating Jackson last year in the championship? I'm not, in the championship.
Nobody.
What team was every year they won it? What team was beating them? And I'm just being honest. Nobody was beating FAMU 2023, and I feel like that FAMU 2023 was better than any team Jackson State had.
Whoa.
I'm just being honest. I played them twice, so that they were loaded defensively.
Who you talking about?
I'm talking about the FAMU 23.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I think FAMU 23 was the best SWAC champion we've had the last 5 years.
That year with James Houston, JSU, and Aubrey Miller.
They were good, but I'll say this: PV was in the game with them.
Y'all were.
PV was in the game with all of them.
Y'all were.
Yeah, and that's another good
fact
too.
Yeah, home field advantage.
That's
was
another
definitely
good
a factor.
fact too.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, you should not lose a home game, championship game. That's very, very hard to go out there and do. So I just feel like the conversation around removing divisions, I don't want anybody to make it to think that, hey, I'm saying going divisionless is bad. I'm not saying that. But our reasons for becoming divisionless have to be better. The excuse of, oh, the East is weak, the East is so much better than the West, that's just a fallacy, and it makes no sense. It's really a JSU only argument.
Well, help me understand, because every year we only hear these divisions we need to get rid of divisions when a certain program loses or they're out of the race for winning their side of the conference.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So help me understand. And then the other thing is this, right? I have no problem. Listen, I think I agree the 2 best teams should compete for a championship. However, right? The whole point of having divisions is geographic and financial to begin with. So if you guys do not want to have divisions, all of our programs, not just a certain few, need to be on par with each other in our athletic spending. Right?
Yes.
Because that's going to require each of us play each other, which means we're going to be playing the Florida schools every year. They're going to have to be coming to us out here in Texas and everything in between. right? And as it already is, we have programs like ours cutting sports, right? Making strategic moves to further invest in football or just try to keep pace with the NIL era of athletics. So, as far as I'm concerned, right, if we're going to lose divisions, fine, right? But there's going to be some programs that are going to have to do some soul searching on if they can still remain Division One. Right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the truth of the matter. So, I think that's one thing that's often missed in this context is like, hey, this is a financial thing. Like, we want to make sure that Prairie View is not going to see Bethune Cookman, Texas Southern's not going to FAMU every year because that costs a lot of money to do that. Right.
Yep.
Whereas we could, keep the structure we have and be able to reduce costs for each program and actually give that back to the student athletes. So, that's my soapbox for that. But yeah, no problem with divisionless, but we got to up our money money.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that comes first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely. Let me
Everybody,
see.
everybody got to play their part, man. That's all.
I agree. Now, it feels so good to be 3-0 going into a bye week, being able to watch all these good games that we're going to talk about for our week 7 pick'ems. But one thing I did want to discuss was just a little recap while we're in the PVAMU bye week, man, and just get to talk about some players, talk about some of our leaders, talk about some other players that, in my opinion, aren't really getting the recognition that they deserve. And I think that there are going to be some stats that I really kind of point out to you guys for individuals that really might surprise you guys. While I break it down, I really wish I had my PC today, guys, but bear with me. I do know that Kennedy Parker, he is number 3 in sacks right now with 3.5. So right now, as he's leading all linebackers. So we got a few guys this year that are looking like all SWAT candidates. And I really just want to shout them out, man, and just be able to pick you guys' brain and be able to talk about any players that are standing out to you guys.
Yeah, from my understanding, Chase Bingman was out due to injury. I
Yeah.
think it was an ankle injury, and so I'm hoping that at the end of the day, I know that some of our players that we've looked to play a lot earlier in the season, Jacoby Banks and different people have had injuries at different points in times that the staff has kind of kept. That's not really public information, which is fine. I'm hoping that this bye week gives us, pretty much a full week and a half, 2 weeks to kind of get rested, get rejuvenated, work through some of those injuries, and then also clean up. Injuries, so that way guys are ready to go, and we're going into Southern with a full head of steam. But also clean up the offensive side of the ball, and even some special teams things. We got to find a guy. We need a guy or two that can return it. In my opinion, that may not be the philosophy of the coaches, but for me, I'd love to be able to see some more points generated from the special teams category. I just think it'll help us get separation in games at key moments if we can get some guys back there. And I feel like we have the talent to do it. So I know that Kellen Stewart, he's usually the return guy. And then Andre Dennis kind of comes in after him, but Kellen's been out with injury. So hopefully he comes
Yep.
back and we're able to, see that special teams continue to mature and obviously the offensive side of the ball. Our quarterbacks and wide receiver connection, no, you don't need you don't need a break, you don't need none of that. Y'all throw the ball at each other. Y'all need to be going to class together, holding hands if you got to. But y'all
Yep.
need to get that connection together ASAP, right? Because we're leaving too many points off the board. I mean, for the second week in a row, and I don't want to call out a specific player just to pick on them, but I do care, right? Rodney Ojo, wide open, doesn't catch the ball, right? For example, and there's others, right? And so I look at that like, okay, what is missing? That doesn't matter which quarterback is in, and the ball may be a really good ball. Why are we not catching the ball? I don't know. And that needs to be addressed and fixed. And then my last thing is, I don't know if we mentioned this, but Shadrick Bird, surprise player that I didn't even know we had on the
Yep.
roster.
Yep.
The transfer, I believe he's from Charlotte at running back. We got a chance to see him this week. He looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good. So to add him to the rotation with McDowell, Bingman, Bird, and everybody else that we just haven't been able to play as much, like Brandon Campbell, who's from UMass, who's been dealing with the injury bug as well. I think their running back room, if they can get back healthy and we have a stable to kind of work from, I think we can see the offensive playbook open up even further.
Definitely. I definitely agree with you that, and I gotta co-sign. Our struggles that we've been having with our wide receivers. To say that this wide receiver room is as talented as it is, it has underperformed. And I'm not saying that as a hater. I'm saying that as motivation from one Panther to another Panther. You guys are way too talented to be dropping wide open balls in Lorman. You guys are way too talented to be dropping wide open balls in a State Fair Classic. And we know as soon as we get in the end zone, the stadium's going crazy with the concert going on in the third quarter. Crazy, I know. But these are the things that I want to see improve, because wide receivers, y'all don't get much love. Our stats say something. We only throw the ball around 20 times a game. We're only averaging 171 passing yards a game. So when you guys catch the ball, you guys got to do something with it. I know we're all hungry for stats. We all want that recognition. We all want film for the NFL. We all want that all-swag recognition. We all want to go play in the HBCU Senior Bowl and whatever festivities they have after the season. But guys, if y'all lock in on catching the ball, if y'all lock in on finishing plays, y'all lock in on preventing fumbles, that scoreboard is going to reflect 30 to 40 to 50 points every single game. Another group I have to address, offensive line. You guys have been through a lot. We're on a roller coaster right now. We're on a roller coaster. We were going up. We had a bit of a bad game last weekend. I just need us to get healthy first and foremost. I know we're not healthy. I know we're battling a lot of injuries. Let's get healthy. Let's work on our technique, and let's really focus on getting our physicality back. I feel in the second half of that Alcorn game, we lost a little bit. I don't know if that was due to being on the road. I don't know if that was due to playing at 3:00 in the heat. But we got to find that second win to make sure that we're consistently locking in and finishing plays so that we don't have these 40-yard plays that get called back for a holding.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
But yeah, guys, if y'all got some time, I just want to just shout out some players. Our two leading rushers for Prairie View right now, we have Chase Bingman. He is currently he has 66 carries. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. And he already has 406 yards for the year, only one touchdown. He's averaging 77 yards a game. We have McDowell, 5 games. I don't think he's even played 5 games, but he's had 37 carries, 270 yards total. He's averaging 7.2 yards a carry with 3 touchdowns, and I know that he's been fulfilling his role as a power back. Then our third leading rusher, we have Tevin Carter, who's had 46 carries, 254 yards. He's averaging 4.7 yards a carry with 5 touchdowns, and he's been getting that done in the red zone as well. Leading wide receivers, I'm just going to go through the top. I'll give top 4 guys. Do top 4. We got Josiah Rockwell, 34 catches, 445 yards. Only 1 touchdown. We got to get that up. He's averaging 74 yards a game. We got Rodney Ojo, who, in my opinion, has not played like himself since TSU. He has 13 catches, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, 25 yards a game. And then, in my opinion, Mr. Underutilized, but he's been getting a lot of touches lately, Trayvon Jones. He's had 10 catches, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. So I do believe that our passing game will improve in this dual quarterback system. I just think that we've just been a coaching staff that we're going to take whatever the team allows us to have. So if you're going to give us the run game, we're going to run it down your throat. You want us to pass it, we're going to try to turn it on and pass it for you. So, do any of these stats on the offense stand out to you? Do any of you guys have a favorite player? Anything on you guys' mind?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Eric Zachary.
Like he been cutting up, and he been actually doing his best, doing like best. Like this last 2 games, he had an interception, especially like for a dude that came from last year. Like it just like not to try to bring him back up above. I heard he have said like bro's gonna already be great, and boom, it's like that's starting to show now. I feel like
Yeah,
Eric Zachary actually playing ball hawk and actually tracking the ball down and getting interceptions versus just looking at the receiver trying to rely off where the receiver hands is gonna go and try to like put his hands up the last minute or whatever.
absolutely, bro. Yeah, he definitely had a lot of talent as a freshman last year. Remember his career. He was a freshman. And he played considerable time, but really he needed a little bit more development. And I feel like Coach DG has got him in the right situation. INTs in back-to-back weeks. Him and Trevor Randall,
Man,
both playing really, really well. And so definitely shout out to those guys. I think to answer your question about a favorite player, I don't have a favorite player. My favorite player is the team right now. I just think that, and it sounds funny, but I'm serious because at the end of the day, one of the things that I really appreciate about the staff is that, especially the defense, their theme is I think Coach Jack said it's the defense or the team. I can't remember what you said, but basically the theme is in spite of. Right, they always mention that when they're on the field. So, in spite of the situation, in spite of the previous play, good or bad, it's how we respond. And we've seen that from a first year coaching regime, first, 73% of the team, new players, right? All of that, all those things, for them to be able to pull out the games in the way that they have, right? They've been playing in spite of some of the deficiencies and challenges they're still working through. And so that's my favorite player. That's what I've really been enjoying seeing. And if we can finally get it matured, worked out the kinks, and play a complete ball games, I think the best days are definitely ahead for us.
I definitely agree with that. And I did want to talk about these standout guys because they are standing out for multiple reasons. Like Trevor Randall, he's currently sixth in tackles in the SWAC right now with a total of 46. Um, we also got Daryl Starling. He is number 9 in tackles right now. So we're seeing a few Panthers up there. Sterling Roberts is at 16. Kennedy Parker's at 18. So we have a few guys that are sitting up there that have a chance to really kind of bring some awards home. Like I said, Kennedy Parker is currently 3rd in sacks. Malik Guakike is currently 5th. So if he has a few good games,
What's his name again?
I believe Guakike. I'm not.
It's pronounced Nuthaki. It's not pronounced how it's spelled.
Oh yeah,
Nuthaki.
hey man, I'm just a guy from the South, man. I'm just a guy from the South, not too cultured, man. Hey, you gotta have a little bit of a twang to get that last name.
Well, he's from Fiji, so
you gotta go some places. You
gotta travel a little bit. Trust me, I only know because Coach mentioned at the coaches show he was talking about him. He was like, it's spelled Gua Cake. That's how his last name is spelled, but it's pronounced Nuthaki. Like totally different. So
oh man,
I wouldn't have guessed it either. Right? It's something pretty unique. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna work on that one. I'm gonna work on that. Next episode, I'm gonna be ready to say that name right, man. I'm gonna be ready to say that name right.
Heck yeah, Tony.
Eric Zachary,
I'm sorry.
third-rated DB. My bad. But yeah, Eric Zachary is the 3rd-ranked DB right now. He's got 2 interceptions. He got 6 total pass breakups. So I mean, this defense is looking crazy. Well, I'm sorry. Trevor is number 3. Eric Zachary is number 4. So this defense is just so crazy right now. Where I'm telling you, this is a special year. Like Tony said, this is the SWAC's number 1 defense right here, and it's been shown multiple games.
Heck yeah. All in all, man, I think we've been balling out. This bye week is going to be something to kind of sit back and enjoy as we prepare for Southern, right? And just kind of see what happens, right? I mean, ideally, I'm going to be honest and upfront, I'm praying on Southern's downfall just to get, that much more separation. Go Bethune Wildcats, right? And, we're going to see what happens there. But I think, we're going to see some good games. And yeah, man, I mean, we're in SWAC play. It doesn't get any more live than this. It's do or die every week. And the Panthers just got to continue. Everything is in front of us. We have head to heads over all of our what would be on paper toughest opponents, except for Southern. And I don't see them at 1-4 right now, potentially going 1-5 before we play them. I don't see them as a tough opponent right now. So I think outside of the Alabama State game, I hate to look ahead and count our chickens before they hatch, but we really have everything in front of us. If we can get complete ball games put together, watch out. Watch out. There's nobody on the swag east, swag west, swag north, swag south, swag northeast that scares me that we can't beat. I'm gonna say that again. There's nobody in this conference that we cannot beat. Right. And I stand on that. So that's kind of my thoughts there.
I agree. I agree. And that brings us to our last segment, yet my favorite one. We got our pick'ems, man. We got our pick'ems. I'm just gonna run down the games, and then hey, whatever games we want to pick apart, we'll pick them apart. First, we got Valley heading over to Alabama A&M for a much-needed win for Alabama A&M. We got Southern versus Bethune-Cookman, and it's not looking good for the Southern Jaguars. We got Bama State versus JSU, the East Super Bowl, the JSU Bowl, the oh my God, I hope I don't lose my homecoming bowl. Then we got TSU versus Grumling. I'm really interested to see that one.
Whoa.
And then we got FAMU versus NCCU. I'm gonna be honest, man. I want to talk about a game that to me is not getting enough love, man. And that's that TSU versus GSU, man. I think that is one of those games right there where a lot of people don't understand how important this game is towards the end of the SWAC West. Now, granted, PV might be 5-0 by the time we get to November.
Mm-hmm.
But if TSU or Grambling wins this game, that can give them the momentum to fight for potentially contending for the West. And as we see, me and Zay engineers all pick TSU, but tell them how you feeling, man.
Man, y'all know who I'm going with. I'm going since it's Grambling homecoming. I'm gonna be
G.
there. I got us.
Okay. Hey, they gonna win for you,
GSU.
man. Hey, they gonna win in front of
GSU.
you.
GSU.
They gonna salute you.
Let me tell you,
GSU.
I equally dislike each program, so I hope they both lose. So either way,
Man.
I
either
knew
way.
you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
No, I hope the refs win. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hope the refs have a good homecoming because
6 o'clock at the hole?
Hey, prime time
Exactly, prime
in front of the
time.
women. Hey, man. That's
Hey,
a tough game to
homecoming.
lose. That's a
6
tough game
p.m. at the
to
hole. We got no excuses.
lose. But I
and
will say this: TSU coming off a 50-point game, even though it wasn't at their stadium, it was at little old Houston Christian. Um, I think that says a lot about that team, man. So they might be able to put something together when they step into the hole, man. But like you said, that's such a tough place to win. You gotta be
Yeah,
a real good team to go win at the
yeah.
hole, man.
Underground,
Yep,
prime, like you said, prime time
yep.
on homecoming.
It's tough. I'm talking about it so deep in the hole, people be standing at the top.
Oh,
You think people standing
oh,
at the mountain the way you looking at the stadium from the bottom,
ooh,
bro.
ooh, the hole so deep. You walk upstairs, you don't even want to come back downstairs.
crazy.
That's
I'm
how
glad
deep
we
it
don't play
is.
that. I'm glad. I'm
Definitely.
glad we don't play that. But Taylor, when y'all hiring Ed Reed? Let me be
Huh?
messy a little bit. Huh? When y'all
Eh,
hiring Ed Reed,
hey,
Edric
hey,
Reed?
don't start
Yeah,
that, man. Don't
yeah.
start
When y'all,
that.
yeah. Hey, he already been
Hey,
in Grambling.
hey,
He been
hey,
networking, rubbing elbows at the Bayou Classic. And we know what's going on. We may not say that, but we know what's going on. We get all the information. So
let me
when
say
y'all gonna
this.
go ahead and hire the brother, call it what it is, man.
If Mickey gone by this year, go ahead and make that move. Cause he kept thinking about it. After we let Hugh go, he wanted to come to ground.
Yep.
People forget
Yep.
about that. He wanted to come to Graham, and some of us players wanted Ed Reed.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
I
but
mean,
the AD gotta want it though, because AD get up there, ED get up there, or Ed Reed get up there, and he get to airing everything out, man. So as an AD, you gotta have your
well,
ducks
but
in a
I
row.
feel like,
he's been networking in Grambling, right? Like, you know,
yeah,
he pledged a fraternity and through the
yeah,
Grambling alumni chapter. I mean, he
yeah,
goes to all the Bayou Classics, right? Like, he's been working on
yeah.
this for
He
a while,
do.
so I don't think it's something that's not been
No,
discussed.
no.
I think the right opportunity and situation, and so I think Mickey Joseph is gone regardless, win, lose, or draw after
Oh,
this season.
oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
I love Mick, but yeah, man, yeah, that's
He
their
said
first
so
feeling
class.
mutual.
No, no, like I got nothing against Mick. I don't, but you gotta keep it a buck. It ain't gonna cut it, man. We lost the all again,
I
and
mean,
It's
it,
still early, man. It's still early.
it's
lose
Also,
early.
this
Don't get me
one.
wrong. No, the crazy thing is this can get so wild that like, and I'm
Yeah,
you know I'm gonna say this only once. If we lost to Southern by happenstance, right, in Baton Rouge on 18, there's a chance that that puts a lot of things into play. One, if they went out, you know, they can totally run the table because they have the head to head over us and go on to the SWAC championship. So there's still a lot up in the air. I don't want to give off the impression that it's just sold up, but you know, nevertheless, yeah, it would be highly unlikely to see Grambling pull it out, but we shall see.
nah. I just hope we turn it around. That's all I know. But Mickey is on the hot seat. It's getting hotter and hotter by the day.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's not even hot. I think it's just Mickey knows he's going regardless, right? So,
definitely.
um,
Oh, Vic coaching Norfolk, not Delaware State, by the way.
but Talon, who'd you pick for that Jackson Bama State game?
I got Jackson State in that game.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I picked Bama. I mean, I picked Bama State. I think for some reason I'm just kind of like, man, you know what? There's really no rhyme or reason. Jackson has a great squad, but I think Bama State's gonna give it all they got. This is the game they should play for the entire season. This one in the Magic City Classic.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
those are the
I
two that
mean,
gets the ticket punch. So
it can go like I said, it can go either way on that one. But I expect it to be a good game, though. I expect it to be a good game.
Yeah. You know, how do I explain this? If it's a good game, Alabama State won it.
mhm.
Fair,
If it's a
fair.
good game, Alabama State won it. However, if it's a barn burner, Alabama State blew it. And
Oh,
with it being Jackson's homecoming, with them being able to, they're gonna artificially get around. They're gonna try. I'm not gonna lie. Their attendance has been really low this year, and I'm only saying that because they care about it. We clearly don't care about it. So I don't want to hear them in the comments, right? They are the only team that cares about that. So they're gonna try to put 40,000 people, 30,000 people in there. They're gonna try to pack as many people as they possibly can in there. I think what's really gonna determine if Alabama State wins this game is how do they take the pressure off Andrew Body,
yeah,
and how do they win this game without him performing like an MVP? And the reason why I say that is because Andrew Body is the leading passer and the leading rusher in the SWAC right now.
yeah.
That cannot continue for very much longer until and that's not me wishing that on somebody, but an injury will come with all that usage, with all that wear and tear. By the time you get the PV in November, after 6-7 games been played on your belt, you're gonna be
Yo,
hurting. You're gonna be sore. So, uh,
and this is actually one of the big tests he's gonna face this year. Cause like we said earlier on, all the games he played was nobodies. Now he got a
yes,
real test go ahead of him.
yes, and you got to play number one defense. So, October, October, what weekend is this? Yes, so October 11th, you'll be playing the number one defense. Then, as of right now, where it stands, November 2nd, you're going to be playing the number two ranked defense. So you're going to get to see some of the top defenses all year. And I don't know, man. I would really hate for Alabama State season to be over with after this game because Jackson State don't play nobody because they don't play
Mm-mm.
us. So they don't
Mm-mm.
play nobody for the rest of the year.
They
So
got
I
they
would
got a
really hate
cruise
for their
ship.
season to end this early.
Hmm. We shall see.
Yes,
We shall see come
sir.
Saturday, man.
Yes, sir. Any other games guys want to get into? Because I ain't gonna lie. I think Southern season ends this weekend in Bethune,
I do
in
too.
Daytona.
I
I
do
agree.
too. I do too.
It's over with.
One
Over.
can
Wrap
only
it
It's
up.
one can
done.
one
Wrap
can
it
only
up.
hope. One can only hope and pray. I love when they
Yeah.
crash out.
And I
Oh, I
love.
love nothing gives me more joy.
That be the funniest. That real do be the funniest.
Yeah, man. I really do enjoy when Southern. I mean, they
Now,
already
now
been
they
doing
now
it.
they gonna complain
But
about another head coach coming along.
Yep.
After you cried for Dooley to come, you complained about that.
Yep. That's true.
hey, man, I love it. I love it. Continue doing what you do, Southern. Keep grades. As a matter of fact, keep grades. I think the
On
man
me.
should keep
Hey,
his
that's
job.
one of the best coaches. That's top two coaching in the SWAC right now.
Hey, man,
Him and
I'm just
Cedric
saying.
Thomas. Oh, they keep Cedric
Hey,
Thomas forever.
hey, hey.
Hey, extend those guys immediately. Immediately.
Man, man,
There you go. Go to PV, ain't it?
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
Hey,
Now
hey,
they
extend
hey,
those
Facebook,
look.
guys.
now the
Extend
Hey,
Cedric
Facebook
hey,
turning
Thomas.
on
hey,
them. Oh
Kaylee.
my
Kaylee,
God.
they need to keep on crying Sid, man. You know, they keep on
Now they
crying
crying for
Sid,
McNair to come
man.
back.
Oh
Now,
man.
now McNair's getting the call, getting the cry back. Like, no, don't do that now. Don't do that now.
Hey, now McNair finna go chill. He finna go get him some farmland up there in Olive Branch, Mississippi. He finna go raise some cattle, and he just finna laugh at all SWAC standards going forward. That's what he's about to do. Because I
Man,
tell you another one who he got did dirty by, that was TSU, and we left Dishman crying too.
So let me ask y'all this: Do y'all think
yes,
Southern? Do y'all
yes.
think?
We forgot about Ditchman.
Yep.
Man, listen, Dishman, I'm not concerned. Not concerned.
After talking
But
all
do
that
y'all think?
trash,
Just to take a step back real quick, do y'all think that Southern hires McNair full time, like as a head coach?
I could see it.
I can
Yeah.
see, I can see him being so dumb. I love Coach McNair, but I can see him doing that. I can't see him doing that.
I
And
could.
Carlos said,
I feel like McNair don't
Carlos,
need to
I'm
coach no
sorry.
more. He ain't got nothing else to prove as a coach, in my opinion. He already won. He already won enough. He ain't got nothing else to prove as a coach.
Yeah.
Carlos, I know what you're counting on. You counting on us losing, right? Y'all will have the last laugh. I get it. Don't lose to Grambling this weekend.
Yeah. I was about to
Yeah, do
say.
not. Don't lose to us this weekend.
Don't lose to Grambling. That's all I'm gonna
Don't
say.
lose to us.
Hey,
You at the hole. Don't lose.
hey, it's tough. Because if
It's not
I'm
gonna be
correct,
easy.
TSU plays Grambling. Then I think after we get done with Southern next weekend, TSU has to roll around and play Southern. But Mr. Johnson, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, but long story short, Southern is in a really weird part of their schedule where they playing everybody in the West in like the next 3-4 weeks.
They are.
And they still have FAMU, which even though FAMU is bad, right?
Bad, bro.
I mean, I
FAMU
think
is
they just
trash.
I just think they're a little. I think they're a little less bad than Southern. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Zay. This is how Southern goes going forward. Bethune-Cookman, Prairie View,
Yeah.
FAMU, Pine Bluff. Then they close out the year, Alcorn, TSU, Grambling.
Dog.
And that
I don't.
TSU Grambling, so they get TSU November 15th, and then of course they get Grambling for the Bayou Classic. Those are 2 L's right there to me.
Don't be surprised if Southern might lose the UAPB. Just saying.
Oh, I can see that.
Listen,
I can see that.
Yeah, just saying. Just saying.
Oh, the wheels
man,
gonna fall off after Prairie View come to town.
man, this is about to be crazy for them. And crazy thing is, Alcorn's not letting go of Cedric Thomas. He can lose every game from this point.
Man,
They can't
dog.
they can't afford to let him go. He got a year left,
Dog.
so
Dog. I was just
this
gonna say that,
man.
bro. I was just gonna say that, bro. Dog.
Man, this about to get real funny. But hey, that's why we do it. So that's why the SWAC wouldn't be the SWAC if it didn't have a little drama. So
Hey, that's why you play the games, right?
why we play the
Because
game.
look, I'll
So
give you Alcorn's before we get out of here. I'll give you Alcorn's next 5 games, not including Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, don't count Lincoln. Please
Not
don't count
including
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Don't count that.
Alcorn has to go on the road to FAMU,
Mm.
Ooh.
That's
home
winnable
versus
with this.
Valley, on the road to TSU,
Mm-hmm.
home versus Southern,
Mm.
home versus Grambling.
Oh.
And then you know they play Jackson State at the end of the year every freaking year.
That's an L. But Jesus. And they were saying Valley might catch them this year.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, you know what we might need to do? I'm telling you. The East versus West narrative. Oh, okay. Yeah, alrighty. But just so you know, those last three out of the four ain't even gonna matter because we're gonna be 5-0 by the time we even get to that point. But I'll say this. Alcorn is literally just gonna have to mail the season away. This might be the first unvictorious team since Valley. This is a real problem.
See, Alcorn fans already throwing some hell on the internet. Let that happen, they're gonna throw even more hell on the internet. Oh my God.
Well, I'll say this.
I'm afraid you might not lie. I'm afraid you just might be right. Good God Almighty.
I'm just saying, they only win might be versus Lincoln.
Yeah.
That might be, and that's up in the air.
What's going on, Will? Shout out Will. I will say, Will, he be everywhere, man. I see him on all three platforms, engaging with some good football convos. So shout out Will. But I'll say this, Will, and you can reply if you feeling me in the comments or not. The two best teams will play in the championship this year. The second best team is not Bama State. Y'all about to beat them the same way y'all beat Alabama A&M, 55-24. Y'all gonna have to come to PV while we host this championship game, and really play the best team that y'all played all year, and that's PV, not excluding Southern Miss. Oh, speaking of the Lincoln game, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We might have to. I doubt we even find a backup for the Lincoln game.
Yeah, we got a plan. DeMarvy is still gonna be there. Them concert stage is still gonna be there. People still gonna be outside on the
It's gonna be a
yard.
big
So whether the
tailgate.
game is played or not, people gonna be there. I mean,
What
I just think
I'm hoping, I hope the football team give us a little scrimmage, man. If we get a little scrimmage, a little 7-on-7, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. They got to give me some type of football though. I'm gonna need my refund. They gotta pick one.
Carlos, hold up now. Hold up now. Beaten easily. No.
I don't know. I can't be talking about JSU like no slouch because they ain't played like no slouch yet.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say this: if Bama State gets out to an extremely hot start, like they putting up 4 touchdowns in the first half, it could get ugly. Now there's a chance, all right. Like if they just come out, they get the ball first, they're rolling, and if Jackson has a cold start, I don't know if Jackson can come back. You know that kind of deficit. That remains to be seen. Obviously, we don't know, but yeah, you know, I won't. He's not totally wrong, right? It could happen that way, but generally speaking, no. It should be a pretty close game until somebody decides to separate around the third quarter. So nobody that haven't played in 2 weeks, but
what defense Bama State played? We were just talking about that. We said they ain't played nobody. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Bama State, in my opinion, has not had any tough road going into this game, which is why I do believe the doors will be blown off them. But like I said, if the game's close, it's because Bama State is gonna win.
Yeah.
I do agree. Bama State's offense has been pretty good versus Alabama A&M, versus a D2 team, versus the sorry teams of the East. I believe that anybody's offense could be as dominant there. Our offense is going to look dominant when we get to play Southern too. At Southern. I just don't think Bama State has the strength of schedule to prove and say, hey, these guys are just the second best team in the SWAC. They just haven't shown me that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I ain't gonna lie to you. With you on that one. Cause me and Janoris was talking about that not too long ago. We was like, we don't even know if we can trust it.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I don't want to keep y'all on here too long, man.
Hey man, you know we got an interesting slate of games this weekend. The mighty Panthers are kicking their heels up, you know, cracking jokes on everybody else. They have tough games this weekend, and you know, hey, we're gonna see what is and what isn't come here soon. You know, if y'all haven't heard already, PV Nation fans is doing a tailgate out in Baton Rouge. So don't meet me there, beat me there. Try to get to the game if you can. We're expecting some pretty good numbers from PV Nation to show up. The school is sending a bus for full of students going to the game as well. So we'll have a good number of people. Try to make it if you can, and let us know. You know, feel free to reach out to us. I'm at 107 Panthers. Kayla's information is there. Denarius, and you know we can, or Lionel, and we can get you set up. And hey, man, we're gonna have a good time. And you know, we're gonna get some Blue Stone wings, some Tony seafood, and a big W. And then we're gonna have a little adult beverage after we get the dub. You know what I mean?
Yep,
And
yep,
we're gonna
yep.
laugh as people leave the stands again, like they did in 21 when I was there watching that too. When we put a hurting on them and we put something like 48 points on the punts on the
It's
board.
48.
So
It's 48,
They
41.
was at their
so
homecoming too.
sure
Yep.
was. We
And we're
did it
gonna do it
before. We're gonna do it
again.
again. There it is.
Bro
Yeah,
was at
there it
their
is.
Hey,
homecoming.
hey, we had them boys shooting after they last homecoming. So listen, Panthers, stay in the stadium now. Last time we did that to them boys, they were shooting by the third quarter. So make sure y'all stay in the
Whoa.
stadium, chill out, enjoy your beverage, enjoy your cigar, and hey, get ready to have a good time in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it
All
should put
right,
60 on the
guys.
board that game. Boom.
Look,
Yeah,
all
you're
right,
right.
guys. I'm glad for all of the PV supporters, all the other supporters from around the SWAC. PV Nation is thriving, is growing stronger every day. It's another great day, another great week to be a Panther. And I'll see you guys sometime on Saturday.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
See you.